that right? So everything's going to be mirrored in this because I'm filming this on my tablet and that mirrors everything. So this says, I love crafting. Incredibly nerdy, but also very on brand. So yeah, I was doing Facebook posts about craft stuff, and then mental health stuff came and just slapped me upside the head. And this makes me feel a bit more like I'm talking to someone. So I'm gonna do some show and tell. It's also easier just to wave things in front of the camera and then edit it together over a prolonged period, which is more my speed. Right, for this I am sat in Brian's chair, so if I just sit here quietly swinging, you know why. I am unused to this luxury. I'm terrible at staying on point. Yeah, the love crafting is very on brand because it's little Cthulhu, and they're sewing and they're painting and they're cutting things out of paper, and I thought there was something knitting related, but I can't see it, so I don't know, it's just everything. So oldest project first, I think, is probably the fairer thing to do. So my Kaleidoscope Blanket is taking me forever and I'm super behind, and I have one bit that I've just managed to take the crochet hook out of because I'm coordinated. So basically this turns by arcane knotting and swearing into this. So this is quite cool. I have to make 36 out of these. I have made 26. I'm on my 27th, so I'm nearing the end. But once this is done in these colours, I get to make another 36 in slightly different colours. So they will be white. And then a combination of these three beauties. So if Editing Sarah is on the ball, there will hopefully be a picture, or maybe video, or wonders never cease, of a triangle in this colourway. They're relatively quickly, and I'm making these mostly while I sit on Roll20 and play D&D on Thursdays and Sundays, because I've got the hang of them now. That's basically where I'm doing the Kaleidoscope Blanket. I'm doing the Kaleidoscope Blanket as a whole while I'm on Roll20 because I can. Because I can. So there. Nah. But it's repetitive. It's easy to see my progress. So I'll get kind of 2 triangles done in a session. I got waylaid in my last session and it was so frustrating. I started crocheting this in my session and got this far, and then realised that one of my balls of yarn that I just had been getting more and more dishevelled was just, it was unusable. So I spent the whole of that session unravelling the knots, like the massive yarn bath this had turned into. Had to unravel the whole thing, make it kind of useful and get it back into a usable wool. And it's already kind of yarn bathing. It's already, that's what it was doing before. So I'm going to have to be better about controlling my balls, I guess. Things I didn't expect to say. What I want to do is get to the point where I have all this loveliness, and then I get to, this is what I mean by arcane yarn trickery. This is witchcraft. Just make these solid lines that you see on my beautiful triangles made just like that. It's post stitches. So first one was like a nice long line from down here, and then this one's even longer. So like the whole of this pattern is post stitches and then these popcorns, which I think are quite effective. So that's my oldest crochet project. This is a knit along, which basically means that we get it's a whole group of people, possibly worldwide. I think we've got some international people. We're just doing this all kind of together, like on the same timeline. This pattern is being released in small parts, so this is part 7 of 13. So once I've done this, I'm theoretically halfway through the clues. Just running, a clue comes out every fortnight, 2 weeks if you're American. I'm a few weeks behind, so the next week I know it's already come out. It's this, but in different colours, and then I get to join some of my many triangles into larger pieces again. Come about a month behind at this point, so you know that's long running. We'll be going for a while. I'm also making the rats a rat bed. So this is also crochet, but I'm just going to be going round and round circles, increasing every row so that you get more stitches. And then when it's got to a certain critical size, I can build up the walls and then do the roof. So that should be fun. You'd think that this would be going faster than that, because this is more simple. This is just making an extra stitch at regular intervals. But no, this involves counting, and counting is not my friend. So unless I want to watch something and be counting regularly up to 20 something, it's not, we're not friends. We're not friends right now. So that's crochet. We in the knitting corner. For knitting was my first love. This, if you know me, implausibly yellow thing, you can probably guess where I'm going with this. This implausibly yellow thing is not for me. For a start, it is tiny. This is going to be a baby jumper for my friends who are expecting. It's still very early, and there are certain superstitions about this kind of thing, so I think you're not meant to have taken it all off the needles before you know the baby is definitely born. And the only way to get around that, because I want these back, the only way to get around that is that this requires some sewing up underneath the arms. If no one ever said it had to be knitting needles, if I just don't sew the ends in until I know this baby is definitely real, I think we're okay. Or I can check and see if they're actually superstitious, and if they're not superstitious, I'm just going to finish this. So this is relatively simple. This is, I know there's probably people out there who are going, simple? What? It's like a proper shaped garment. It's relatively simple stitches. So this is just plain old regular stockinette stitch. the nice smooth bits on the outside and the bumpy poles on the inside, but just with some extra detail to make the cuffs pretty. And obviously, you know, creating extra stitches out of nowhere so that you have that nice smooth increase to the arms. That is one knitting thing. That's mostly happening on Zoom calls. I don't know why I have a different project for Zoom calls than I do for Roll20. It is irrelevant, probably. Possibly though, that one of the Zoom calls was with the parents-to-be in question. And one of those Zoom calls was with my old friends from Nottingham, and I am a massive troll. Hey, I haven't talked to any of you for years. No, ignore the baby jumper I'm knitting. That has nothing to do with anything. Ignore it. Yeah, I'm a troll. Right, what else am I doing? So, in my never-ending mending pile, it's never-ending because of the rats. The rats are just eating my clothes, just shredding them into bedding. Just find bits of my clothes everywhere now. So this, I can take no credit for the actual top. This is my D&D top, and I love it. The rats managed to nibble some little holes in this, so I've been doing some visible mending. I keep finding more, like there's an extra hole there. So visible mending, because this is just like massive dragons and fire and stuff themed, I created two little sewn patches over two holes, and then got bored and found other holes. So I'm trying my hand at embroidery, so there's a little health vial and a tiny embroidered D6, and then more holes that I still need to do something over. It's going to take forever. The never-ending mending. So that's the thing I'm doing, learning to embroider, because Sarah needs more crafts, always. And then I'm also, so this is editing Sarah. I'm still not really great about talking about this specific thing. The upshot is one of my friends in the chronic illness community passed away, sadly, last week. And having the screen name of Laurel Hedge and being an amazing lady who loved frogs and green, I suggested that we do a knit along, or really a craft along. Not a specific pattern this time, everyone doing whatever is meaningful to them to commemorate Laurel, basically. And because she was Laurel Hedge to me, this has a leaf motif. This is all lace weight, so this is ridiculously fine. And it's going surprisingly quickly, despite it being quite complicated. So basically, leaf motif by sort of yarn overs and strategic increasing and decreasing, with twisted cable going up the middle and along the sides. And I will hand you back to past Sarah. No one said I was wired normally. So yeah. I think that's most of the active stuff. Of course I've got sewing that I'm successfully ignoring, because it means cutting things out, and cutting things out is terrifying. So I've got a few different things going on, and they kind of have different times and places, and that's all a routine is. Just doing slightly different things, slightly different variations of them in roughly the same orders. D&D and the never-ending triangles on a Thursday. During the day, I do some knitting. I might knit a bit of my baby jumper on Friday if I talk to people on Zoom. That obviously has an expiration date because this is pretty close to being 2 complete sleeves. But, you know, then I've got to sew buttons on. And this pet bed. I'm sure I'll eventually be bored enough to just sit and count. Eventually. But since the rats will eat it almost immediately, there's not a huge rush. Actually, they might eat their bed before I manage to finish this. Okay, I think that's everything for now. I will try to do a rat video. I may have done a rat video already before this goes up. Time and editing are weird. My life doesn't actually exist in this linear, nicely packaged kind of way. Stay crafty.